Hello folks, and welcome back to my channel, the Scottish Model Railway Guy. So, yeah, you probably saw from the front screen we're going to be doing a bit of electronics today. And if I can just stop this wee train right there at the Bicker Bush station, I'm going to pan down and show you what I've set up. So, this is the original 3V incomer, or 14V incomer from the Hornby controller going there, and you can see what I explained before in a video. I've got a positive and negative going into this distributor unit. So how does that work? 14V in, 3V out, and then up either side's positive and negative, and you can take as many different lights as you want off that distributor board, which is one of these, and they cost, I think it was £3.50 for Temu. Even it's got an arrow that shows you what side to put your power in and what side to take it out. Now what I'm going to do is, the reason I've set it up like this, is I'm going to pan round a little bit, and you can begin to see what the focus of today is, which is traffic lights. So how does that look? Same thing, you're 14V in, and then you can temper that down to whatever voltage you like from there, and then it will come out and come in here, your positive and negative. So I'm going to start with 3V, come in here, and then we've got our traffic lights, and you can see they're actually split. So you've got your common wire here, and then red, amber, green, and this will be a working set of traffic lights. Now what I don't really know, and I think it was in the instructions, I think when you're using 12V, you need to put these resistors in line, which would involve a bit of soldering. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to ramp it up in this little pot here with a screwdriver, until I start to see some action with the traffic lights, just to see what happens. But instead of going the whole hog and wiring this in, I'm going to take these two out, and then just sort of take these two wires straight to here, just for test purposes in this part 1, so we can see how we can get the working traffic light. Looking at this side, you can see they're split into sections along there, and I do have a wiring diagram that came with it, tells you where everything needs to go, and I'll explain that in a wee while. So yeah, could be an interesting one. We shall find out. I'll try not to blow myself up. So hang on folks, here we go. Okay, and they are working. So how did I do it? Well, first of all, took two wires. Just trust me on this, I've just tried to keep it tidy so you can follow it. Positive and negative into here, and then followed the instructions. And the instructions were really simple. That shows you where the red, amber, green, or red, yellow, green wires go. I'll take that away, red, yellow, green to the top, and then you can see the black, which will be the neutral, to the bottom. So they're all positive, and they've got a common neutral at the bottom. However, what I noticed was that while I was doing it, that when I started it up on 3V, now I'm going to switch a light off here, and then I'm going to dim this down quite low. Right, two reasons for that. The first one is, I want you to see this working, and you'll start to see it change just shortly. But the other reason is, while we're waiting on that, if you have a look over at the voltage regulator on the left hand side, there it goes, red, amber, and then fully green. And then once it's done, the circuit board just to the left of my right hand is fully controlling that to take it back to red, and that is the sequence. It's automatically programmed into it, and if you look closely you can see the wee LEDs on the circuit board itself switching over. And let's just see if they follow what's going on. Well, I think it's doing a second sequence for a second traffic light. So the purpose is the first three is for the first traffic light, and the second three is for the second traffic light, because more often than not you'll have that sequence going, and yeah, you can see the circuit board emulating what's going on with this wee 00 gauge traffic light. But if you look over to the left, I had to turn it up to 5 volts to get it to work, and that's done with this little screw here, which I've showed you in this video that's coming up just about here. Interestingly, if you've never done bootlacing before, that video will also show you, and I'll remind you at the end. I'll put up a snapshot of that video series, which is really popular. People seem to like the electronic side because there's a bit of a mystery to it. The other thing I'll do at the end of this is I'll take some photographs of the part numbers of these circuit boards. But just to recap, how does it work? Forget this one just now, it's just the same as this. So like I spoke about before, you have 14 volts coming in for your Hornby controller, positive and negative. You're then taking a positive and negative out to this board. You're regulating the voltage on this voltage regulator at this little potentiometer, tiny wee screw, and you can turn it up and down to whatever the component rating is. The unique one with this is that this circuit board is specifically designed for traffic light control, and it really is as simple as red, amber, green with a common. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that one. I'm going to get the lights up a wee bit more before I finish. In part 2 we'll be installing it on the model railway layout. So yes indeed, that is where we're going. If you have never been here before, thank you for coming to my channel. If you have been here before and you're a subscriber, you are very welcome for coming back. I think when you look at the layout and the way it's developed over the past wee while, it's really coming on, so please do consider subscribing if you like, because I've got stuff like this, a whole variety of things happening all the time. So once again, thank you folks, and I shall see you again. Thank you.